And I'm Nicole Kirk, and welcome on this chilly fall day. Ah, there we go. Randy.
Try it again.
Wait, see, I used to have a headset all the time, so that's what it was. So get ready. Good morning. I'm Randy Lewis.
And I'm Nicole Kirk, and on behalf of our entire ministry team, welcome to The Point, where agnostics, atheists, and humanists and seekers gather in community.
And welcome to our online viewers and everywhere members watching from all over the world. We're so glad you decided to join us today.
Indeed, we are. And if you are a first-time visitor, please raise your hand because we have a gift for you. If you raise your hand and keep it up, our ushers will be coming up the aisle to share those gifts. There's our ushers. We have some folks in the back. Over here on the left side too. So get your hands up there. They can share the gift. And we also invite you, for those who are first-time visitors and newish to All Souls, to meet some of our greeters in the Sonnen Library after the service, through the sanctuary, through the back doors, across the foyer, into the library. We'd love to get to know you better. And we have a few short announcements this morning. We have a fantastic service. And so I want to let you know about our offering this morning, born from a belief in the power of truth, healing, and connection. Today's offering is going to an organization that is building its reputation through its programs and its projects. It's doing such good in this world. Today's offering goes to the John Hope Franklin Center for Reconciliation. It's in the spirit of the late Dr. John Hope Franklin that the center works to transform the mistrust caused by years of racial division and even violence in a hopeful future for reconciliation. So it's one of our traditions here at All Souls that we give away our plate each week to community organizations that do good works in this world. And so when the offering comes around later in this service, please give generously.
Now, next Sunday, the Men of All Souls will have a special potluck. That's right after the second service, a special potluck for all the men in the church. For those who identify as male are welcome. Please prepare a dish to share, and we would love for you to come and add your voice to that conversation.
Did you know that every Sunday is Joining Sunday, Randy, here at All Souls?
Yes.
Yes, okay,
yes.
Good. Whew.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did.
That's great. Well, you all should know that as well. And if you're ready to become a member of All Souls or want more information about membership, it's happening today after this service at 12:45 in room 203. Now, if you have ever thought about donating groceries, now is the time. Whoops.
That's a strong one. Come on.
Well, we're going to fill
need your
this
groceries.
bag. This bag is empty, and it needs to be filled. Our cart is out there every week. We have a long tradition of feeding the hungry and helping those in need in this community. We need our support more than ever. We need to fill up those carts with food, and also, believe it or not, your donations go even farther. They can buy food at wholesale prices. Look for the QR code on the cart. Bring that extra food and help fill up our falling apart shopping bags.
Yes.
And for those looking in the back of your order service, pickleball and Young and Heart, the dates and the times are correct. The description is not.
Yes. And our annual pledge campaign is just about over. We've got 1 week left. If you have not gotten your pledge in, get it in this week. Look in the mail if you did not pick up the envelope. And we need it because your pledge, did you know your pledge helps support the budget? So the budget we plan for the next year is counting on your pledge. And so please fill that out this week.
You can do that online as well.
Yes, online as well.
Yeah, great.
And now, could you join us in our covenant that's printed in your order of service? Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Well, I want to invite our chalice lighters to come forward, including my good friend and brother, Louie Rojas, and his wife, Jenny. Louie's going to be helping us with the message this morning, and I'm so thankful to him for really encouraging us to do a Day of the Dead themed service today. So thank you. We're going to hear more about his connection to it in just a few moments. But Louie's been on our board of trustees. He's currently on our care team. Both Louie and Jenny have been on our care team, and both have been involved in our intercultural work. They came to All Souls around the same time I did over 25 years ago. They've been great leaders for us, and today they are lighting our chalice, which is the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith around the world.
We light this chalice for those who came before us, our ancestors, our teachers, our beloved dead. May this flame remind us that the bond of love is not broken by time, and that to remember is to keep them near. May the warmth of this light remind us that every life leaves a mark, and every memory is a thread of connection between what was and what will be.
Good morning. I grew up in Minnesota in a rock-ribbed Lutheran family. Confirmation classes at age 13 made me realize the futility of thinking that all one needs to know about spiritual life exists in a 16th century catechism. My wife Mary grew up in Tulsa with a Catholic father and a Protestant mother. By her teen years, she and a friend began sampling various churches in town to find one that resonated with them. They had the good fortune of coming to All Souls and hearing John Wolfe preach. They came back. His citywide leadership in the integration of Tulsa public schools sealed the deal for her. After we were engaged, she invited me to attend All Souls with her. The text of Wolfe's sermon that first morning was not from an epistle or gospel, but from Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Despite the seriousness of his message, I also took delight in a sound too seldom heard in church: laughter. We were married in the Joseph Priestley Chapel, as we called it then, 54 years ago. For the first years of our marriage, we lived on the East Coast, but we returned to Tulsa in 1977, when our son was 3 and experienced at a storefront Mother's Day Out program in our neighborhood was upsetting. The ladies who ran it thought telling 3-year-olds about hellfire and brimstone was a good idea. That made us aware that raising children in the Bible Belt requires a positive religious education. The Children's and Youth Choir program at All Souls became a central element of growing up for both our son Chris and our daughter Laura. They bonded with others in their generation, learned from an enlightened curriculum, sang at other Unitarian congregations around the U.S., and even made 2 choir tours to Europe. Our kids are now over 40. They still embrace the values instilled in them in this building. Mary and I continue to support All Souls after they were grown because it's a voice needed in our community, standing for the principles encapsulated in the phrase, love beyond belief. All Souls, along with other notable, diverse but like-minded religious institutions, give voice to principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion, vital to the health of the greater Tulsa community. Our live streaming of Sunday services and the camaraderie of the post-service chats became a lifeline during the COVID pandemic. Online services have since been a boon to our outreach nationally and internationally. A growing number of Everywhere members seek our message when they do not find it in their own communities. Online services are also wonderful for aging members like me, who find long hikes from a parking spot incompatible with the mobility and indignities of aging. At All Souls, we share our Sunday plate to meet the needs of our community consistent with our shared values as a congregation. That's why pledging annually to support the wide range of programs this community engages in is so important. I served on the All Souls Board and for 2 years was treasurer, so I understand how important for budgeting it is to anticipate financial resources before the beginning of the fiscal year. This congregation runs All Souls without control by an outside denominational hierarchy. Pledges are vital to developing an annual budget that can earn the approval of the congregation at our annual meeting. Fulfilling pledges keeps our hands doing the good work of the world. That's why Mary and I are pledging for the 2026 fiscal year, and we will increase our pledge by 10%. I invite and encourage you to submit your pledge as you are able. Thank you.
Yes, let's give it up for Roger Blaze. It's time to sing the All Souls song. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, we have Dimitri Sobel here to help us out, and then of course Riley Kern. Thank you for being here every week. Let's do it.
There's a fire lit within us. There's a flame in every song. Every voice is a chorus. Each heart where dreams belong. We arrive not empty-handed, but with sparks our hearts have grown. We are builders, dreamers, seekers. We make sacred what we've sown. It's not the walls, it's not the steeple. It's the love that makes us whole. We are stories bound together. We are embers that feed the soul.
All right. We
build a house on hope and flame.
Yes.
With every heart we call by name. Through open doors the world will see. Love makes us strong and sets us free.
We rise.
We rise together. We rise. We rise together. We rise. We rise together. We rise.
Can you clap your hands and sing it? Come on. We rise.
We rise together. We rise. We rise together. We rise. We rise together. We rise.
Yeah.
Good morning. I have a story for you about Dia de Muertos. It is called Uncle Monarch. Written by Judy Goldman and illustrated by Renee King Moreno. "They're here," Lupita cried. She ran to the rocking chair where her uncle was dozing and touched his arm. And when he opened his eyes, she whispered, "Tio Urbano, they're here." "Quickly, Nina, hand me my cane. It is the best of luck to see them arrive." They walked out of the house and watched as the first monarch butterflies arrived to the safety of the trees. Lupita put out her hand and a tired monarch landed on it. It stayed for a moment before flying off to blend with the others. Tio Urbano asked, "Do you remember what I have told you ever since you were a baby?" Lupita nodded and said, "I must never capture or hurt a monarch, for they are the souls of our dead ones who have come back to visit us for Dia de Muertos." "Never be afraid of the dead," he said, "for those who loved us can never hurt us. We will always miss them, and this is why it is a blessing to receive the butterflies in the weeks before Dia de Muertos." Soon after the butterflies arrived, Lupita's family got ready for Dia de Muertos. Papa strung rows of colorful papel picado from one end of the living room to the other. Then he set up the altar and displayed the photographs of family members who had died. Mama gathered the ingredients she would need for preparing the pan de muertos, the mole and tamales, tortillas and atole that the dead had liked in life and now would enjoy in spirit. Lupita cleared a path that led from the altar to the street. She knew exactly how she would make the trail of flower petals that would guide the spirits home. This year, it would be as wide and as thick as possible, so no one would get lost. Everything was done just like last year, except that Tio Urbano couldn't help. He sat wrapped in blankets and dozed most of the day by the fireplace. And a few days before Dia de Muertos, Tio Urbano took to his bed. Lupita sat by his side for hours, but he never opened his eyes. One morning, Lupita was dreaming of butterflies when she felt a hand touch her shoulder. She opened her eyes, and when she saw the tears tracing a path down her father's cheeks, she knew. "Tio Urbano?" she asked in a whisper, and Papa nodded. "I know how much you will miss him," he said, "but try to remember the good times you spent with him. He would like that." Tio Urbano's photo was added to the ones on the altar, and a plate of his favorite enchiladas was added to the other dishes. And on the first day of November, Dia de Muertos arrived, and that night, Lupita's family and neighbors gathered in the cemetery. They painted the gravestones of family members in bright colors and covered them with flowers and food. The air of festivity spread throughout the cemetery as adults told stories and children played hide and seek among the gravestones. Lupita looked at the new grave that needed no fresh paint. She stayed close to her mother and wrapped herself in a warm blanket as she fell asleep. Early the next morning, Mama woke Lupita and whispered, "It's time to go home." Lupita glanced at the sky. There wasn't a butterfly in sight. She turned for one last look at her uncle's gravestone, and there was a lone monarch butterfly, gently moving its wings. Lupita watched as it rose and fluttered over her head and flew away. She stared until she lost sight of it among the trees, and then she smiled and whispered, "Goodbye, Tio Urbano, my uncle monarch. I'm sure I'll see you again next year." I invite our children to come with me to work on mementos for the ofrenda, and anyone in the congregation who hasn't had the opportunity to bring their photo or memento to the chancel is welcome to do that now.
Please come up. It's a long but beautiful walk to honor your loved ones.
Mi hermano Louie is going to play the saw in just a moment. A very special and very sacred instrument and song. But before we do that, I want us to just take a moment. Today we are remembering those who have died, who we love, remembering them. And they say that on November 2nd, in many traditions, that the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest at this time of year, and so that we can connect with and communicate with those who have died and are on the other side of life. And so I want us to just sort of sink into that idea and see how that kind of feels, and welcome the spirits of those who have gone, whatever that word means to you, but the presence, the memories, the warmth, the love of those who've gone before us. We've had a few folks who've just died in the last week or so, and I want to read their names out loud. Some people, just to make sure everybody's heard and to know that we're holding you. Our member, Nancy Coriel, lost her mother, Ann Coriel, and so we're thinking of Nancy and her daughters, Caitlin Chappelle and Jessica Blake, today on the loss of Ann. And we're also thinking about a young man named Stephen Edwards, who is the nephew of Kathy Edwards, our member, and Joe Peralt, and he died last week, and we're thinking about all of them. We're also thinking about our longtime member, Jerry Foster, in his 90s, one of the last from that greatest generation who lived through World War II, and just a wonderful man who just passed away this month, or I say last month now, on October 17th. And we're lighting a candle up here as part of our altar for a member, Jack Neely, who died unexpectedly this past week, and we're thinking about his family, Margaret and their daughters and their children. And also thinking about those who are still alive but in the hospital or ailing or ill. We're thinking about Peggy Allen, who's in the hospital. We're thinking about the Schusters. And also special heartfelt thoughts go out to Dave Kroll, one of our members who was a president of our board and just somebody who's given so much to this congregation, who's just going on hospice. So he's hanging on between life and death. He's sort of in between the worlds. So we're all kind of in between the worlds right now in this moment on November 2nd, when they say the veil is thinnest, and there's an opening where we can connect in a deeper way. So whatever that means to you, I know we come from many different theologies and ways of looking at life and death, but I want us to take a moment now to take a breath and think about the breath of life that we breathe in, that keeps us alive. There's going to be a time when all of us are going to exhale that last breath. But right now, we have the joy and the possibility of our breath continuing and our life continuing. So let's appreciate that as we think about those who have taken their last breath, but who remain alive in our hearts today, in a moment of silence.
only at All Souls. Would you play a piece, La Llorona, who killed her children because she fell in love with a guy. That's the first problem. And she wanted to keep him, scared to lose him, killed her children. And the story is that she walks the river hunted and mis hijos. But that song is embedded deeply in the culture of Mexicans, of the Mexican culture, people. And that I was introduced to that song here, and it freaked me out. La Llorona in a church? That was just incredible, because we like to look at the data, don't we? And learn and grow and see what life has to offer us. So I want to officially welcome you to Mexican Halloween. But you know, I have to tell you, this celebration has nothing to do with Halloween. It's the story of the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And it's not what a lot of people think who never think about when they've never really experienced it. It's not about fear or ghosts or sadness. It's more like a 3,000-year-old love letter that is literally written on the bones of death itself. Primero y 2 de noviembre. That's how the song I sang here in 2010 with the choir of all people. And it's been amazing to discover this ritual that was introduced to me here. As a person who was born in the Roman Catholic Church, became a Protestant, and never knew it, never experienced it till I got here. And it's just so powerful because lately, this month, today, cemeteries are all bright and beautiful. And there's marigold trails, and you're going to go there and you're going to see food, beer, all kinds of things that, where's this coming from? And bread, freshly baked bread. And as Marlin alluded to, this is a time where the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead becomes thin enough to whisper through this profound tradition called Dia de los Muertos. A story of how, an experience of how ancient people learned to welcome death. Welcome it. Not as an end, but as a homecoming. The rituals of the ancient world would be fused with the rituals of the Roman Catholic Church in the absorption of the indigenous people, that now we have a hybrid tradition. And you find both, the blending of this cyclical view of life by the indigenous married to a linear experience religiously. It's just something about life and love and a celebration to visit our loved ones in spirit and support, because it's all about an offering, an ofrenda, an altar that's called an ofrenda to entice our loved ones to come back and share time with us. I'll just point out that the 4 elements are in the ofrenda. I don't know if you can spot them, but the paper and papel de picado represents air. The food over there represents earth. The water there, is the other element, and of course, fire. The 4 elements. So you can see how the indigenous had their impact here. But now you could add and do what you want, and has been done. And today, I'm telling you, you're going to see everything. The skulls obviously came from the indigenous. because they didn't view death the way the church did. And so the elements here presented in this table is about welcoming our loved ones from beyond the underworld, the Mictlan as it's called. And it serves as a gateway between our worlds. Ofrenda are altars with offerings for our loved ones being remembered. And they could be large public ones, or they could be as small and intimate as you can do in your home. There are no hard rules. And everybody today is doing their thing and how they want to celebrate it. Sugar skulls. I'm wearing a representation of one. Denote many times the children that transition, that die. And they're called angelitos, little angels. Because in this celebration, we want to see the sweetness that is possible even in death. And you'll see, if you go out, you'll see there'll be colorful skulls, not just black and white, it's colorful skulls with the names of children. And as we see already here, we have brought, that's a very moving thing. If you start looking at those pictures of people, it's just, it will stir you. The people there that are just someone's love, you know, a rich love connection that's no longer here, but can be experienced through the ritual of today. Another thing that people do is they put food and drink and favorite pleasures. What would someone put for you of your favorite pleasure? You know, would it, come on, would it be a can of Bud? You know, you get a cigar, you know, chocolate, yeah. It could be whatever you want, whatever connects you. Or to entice the visitation of your loved one in spirit, you know, and that's what it's all about. And people will say they're coming to visit, and they prepare ofrendas in the home, in the community. But I said in the morning service, just leave anything that has to do with the Los Angeles Rams, and you've got me, and you've got my spirit. So let me just say one other thing in terms of, we did it in the butterfly is an incredible thing. For many cultures, the butterfly's journey is a symbol of transformation and the enduring nature of memory, representing the love that never fades. It's a symbol of hope and remembrance. They're also spiritual messengers. Many cultures in Mexico, such as the Purepecha and the Matsagua, believe that the monarch butterflies are spirits of the departed loved ones returning to visit. Obviously, the migration of the monarchs going back to central Mexico in the forest there coincide this time of year as fall is in the air. Aligns with the Day of the Dead celebration, which makes the connection more powerful. The arrival of the butterflies is viewed as a sign that the spirits are back to participate in the festivities and join their families again, if even for a short time. And it's just a wonderful cultural tradition that the belief that monarchs carry spirits is a tradition that has been passed through generations and has become a cherished part. Now, all I want to say is that I would encourage you, start playing with this. Honor your loved ones. Think about it. Remember them. And express it any way you want. There's no hard, fast rule. There's people are doing it, and we're all modifying it. We're all modifying it. In fact, you can show I don't know if you could put my picture up of my first attempt at ofrenda, and I realized that's not an ofrenda. that's my own. I don't know if the boat's. But I had a neighbor who gave me a bunch of wooden boats, and I didn't know what to do with them. Put them in the attic for a few years, and all of a sudden, when I celebrated my first Dia de los Muertos, I painted them with gold, and I put 3 on. I put one that says La, L-A, the bigger boat, La Barca. I don't know if it's in there. And then the Oro. Anybody ever heard of that song, La Barca de Oro? I mean, it is a song that's just like, it has this line that just tears me up, that I'm going to I'm going to make more oceans with my tears. Inconsolable grief. And the song is about getting on a boat. I'm going away. Sorry, I'm going away. And so that's what I did. And you can see it's got shelves. And it's basic, and perhaps you've got a version of this, but I bring this out. I brought it out a week ago, and it will be here. I will have it out through Thanksgiving. And in there I have where it all started. In 2018, when I had one of my first bitter experiences of grief, when my little dog, Vato, died. I don't know, that just overwhelmed me. The day I came to church and prayed, I was bawling my head. Just bawling because it was fresh and raw. So that's why we memorize. That's why we memorialize people before we pray in the first service. I have basically done what is suggested in the marquee out there. An altar of remembrance, because I like to reminisce. I like to see loved ones, my loved ones, people that have impacted my life, people that have touched me to my core, people that I miss desperately. My parents have died. So once my dog died, all of a sudden I lost my parents, I lost my uncles, I lost, and it's just been going steady. I guess we reach an age where they just accumulate. So, ironically, and one thing I've learned in coming to this service over the years, I don't know how to say this, but I take some comfort that I might share the same outcome as the dinosaurs. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. What I'm trying to suggest, there's just something powerful about that. That I'm not that super special person, in the universe, but that I'm alive today, but I know I'm going to die. What are we going to do about that? What are you going to do about it? And I like to propose there's nothing better than living life before death. Loving life before death. Loving your people, your tribe, your community, loving people fully. And so it's become my favorite time of year, my favorite holiday, more than Christmas, more than all these others, is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And I decided I was going to live my life before death. Here we teach to love before death, because that's just I just think it's powerful. The most precious thing we have in our life is our life. And when we come here and we talk about the capacity to see, feel, hear, and understand, that has enhanced my life immeasurably by coming to this place and hanging out with people like you. In fact, I feel my most comfortable with people like us, if you know what I mean. But I love this because we will experience loss. And so my little dog Vato, my best friend Rodney, my college roommate, a fellow seminarian, he thought he was going to outlive us all, and suddenly he died. And Still trying to process that. The truth is, we are going to have a moment where our tears of loss are going to glisten like jewels of the past. And they're going to be painful, but they will heal. And that love experienced is never lost. Love and life before death is such a precious thing because I think for me, it teaches perspective. And when you have perspective about what's really important, love, life, family, causes, you know, it just helps you to appreciate your life even more. I love Dia de los Muertos because it connects me to what is really important. A sense of connection, of gratitude, of joy, of music, art, reflection, generosity, hope, and memories of an altar that transcend time and space. A celebration of love. Even though they may be gone, we remember the love. We feel the love. We enjoy the love. I'm so glad I could share with you this ritual. And I encourage you, do with it if you find it something that you might like. It is a wonderful way to spend these 2 days every year. 1 y 2 de noviembre, el Día de los Muertos, celebramos.
Beautiful, my brother. Great job. Well, our children have been working on offerings for the ofrenda, and I'd like to invite them as in this next song, come on forward and place your offerings here on the ofrenda. Let's invite your loved ones to be with us. Once again, thank you. Muchas gracias, hermano Louie, for bringing this wonderful celebration to us. I love the story of how, Louie, how you share how, being Mexican-American your whole life, but it wasn't until you came to All Souls and other Mexican-Americans who encouraged us to do this and led us in this service that you found this and found something about your own culture, which now you give back to us. And I think that's the beauty of All Souls in so many ways, that that we invite people to come and bring themselves, bring their families, bring their cultures, bring what's important to you to us. We don't want people to just come and just be like we are here at All Souls already. We want you to bring what's yours so that you can change us. We're a living community, and we change and we grow with the people who join us. And Louie, this is just a beautiful example today. I wanted to share a story. I think it's kind of fun the children are with us because it's from the author Franz Kafka. Some people know Kafka was one of the great writers. Well, there's a story about him when he got older. He used to spend a lot of time just sitting in the park, after he had grown kind of old, and he'd spend every day sitting in the park. And one day, this little girl walked by him, and she had tears running down her face. And he asked her what was wrong, and she told him that her doll was missing and was lost, and she didn't know what to do. Well, they looked around together, and they couldn't find the doll. She said, so he said to her, "Come back again. I'll keep looking and see if I can find her." And a few days later, the little girl returned, and Kafka was there, but no doll. But there was a note, and he read it to her. And the note said, "I've gone off to travel around the world. Please don't worry about me. I'm fine." And the little girl was somewhat relieved. And she returned to the park every week or so. And Kafka, she would see him, and she'd go up to him, and he'd have another letter from her doll. Now, the girl was too young to read, so, just imagine this. Franz Kafka's reading her these letters, telling her all about the doll's adventures. And then if we now fast forward a little bit to Kafka became much sicker eventually, and on his last visit to the park, this time he brought with him a doll, and he gave it to the girl, and he said the travels had really changed her. And then so many years later, the girl was now a young woman, and she found the doll in her closet, and she noticed something she hadn't noticed before, which was a little piece of paper that was rolled up in the doll's hand. She didn't notice that when she was a little girl, so she opens it up, and inside was a note, and it said, "You will lose everything you love, but the love will always return in new forms." And it's a reminder that our physical bodies die, but love does not die. And if we pay attention, we can see how love returns in new ways long after people are gone. I was teaching a class one time at All Souls, and this woman shared a story that her mother told her before she died, "After I die, I'm going to come back and give you a sign to show you that I'm still out there and that we're still connected." And then a few days after her mother died, she was sitting in her backyard. She was thinking about her mom when a butterfly flew into the yard and flew right up to her and landed on her nose and just sat there for a while. It had never happened before, and it never happened again. And now every time she sees a butterfly flying near her, she wonders if it's her mom, and she feels the warmth of their connection. Now, when she told this to the class, she looked at me, knowing that, we're not big on superstitions and stuff in here at all, so very scientifically minded people in general. So she looked at me and she asked, "Is this just ridiculous?" And I said, "Absolutely not. None of us knows what happens after we die. One of the great mysteries that no one's really come back to tell us what happened. So we really don't know." So I said, when you see a butterfly near you, if you feel your mother's presence and you feel connected to her, that's wonderful. Cherish that. There's no reason that we should try to talk ourselves out of or think ourselves out of such a special experience. It's said that a person dies twice. The first time when their body dies, and then their final death is the last time someone says their name. How can we keep the memories and the names of our loved ones who we've lost alive? There are many ways that we do it. Here at All Souls, we at the 10 o'clock service, we light candles and we ask people to say the names, and we invite people to stand in memory on the anniversary of the death of a loved one. And that's very meaningful for some people. I know that obviously this celebration of Dia de los Muertos and Louie's encouragement for us to find ways to make it meaningful for us in our own lives is another way. Sometimes many of us will put a photo on our nightstand of somebody we love, or have a little ritual on their birthday that we do to remember them, or take a trip to the cemetery, or perhaps put their ashes on the mantle, or plant their favorite flowers in the yard. So we invite you today to find ways to keep those who have died alive in meaningful ways in your own life. Let's remember and feel the connection to those who are no longer here in body, and to remember that their love never dies and keeps coming back to us in different ways. So friends, on this All Souls Day, on this Dia de los Muertos, find ways to appreciate the life that you have within you and to feel the connection to those who have died, remembering that love always returns in new and sometimes very special and mysterious ways. I love you.
We now gratefully receive our offering for the John Hope Franklin Center for Reconciliation.
As I was listening to the music and feeling the energy that we create when we join together like this, I was thinking, in my years here since 2000, I have, in this space, memorialized the lives of over 400 people and a whole generation of this community and more. And right in this space, you know, speaking about their lives and telling their stories, and is really, I could just feel their presence in this moment. And I can feel the presence of all of our loved ones as we call them forward to be here, to be in our lives, that they're not forgotten. So on this day, as you go forward, on this November 2nd, when the veil between the worlds is said to be at its thinnest, may you feel the love that was poured into you and into your life by those who are no longer here in physical body, but are very much here in spirit and in love and in memory. Go and be loved and be loving.
Enjoy the moment and live that love without apology.
Trying to keep up with you. Come on.